look at you guys. I mean, for 2 weeks, I've been like nonstop listening to your music. You guys are just tearing up the charts, playing Brooklyn Bowl tonight. I mean, what a time for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're super excited about it. It's been a great tour with Good Kid, our really good friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, super fun.
So when you tour with like a band like them, like you get closer, right? Right? Like all these dates across the country, because you don't see it all the time. But in your case, you guys do get closer.
Yeah, I mean, 3 years ago we toured with them. We went on their first North American tour, or first tour ever, I think.
Yeah.
They asked us to come with them, and since then we've been really good friends. We kept in touch like for 3 years straight, and now they've sort of given us a bunch of advice, and
Yeah.
They're blown up.
They're like big brothers to us, kind of.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I hear that you guys have gotten sick this tour. Like the fact that you're here, there's been illnesses, there's been challenges. What is this that I hear, Jordan? What's going on?
Oh man, it was rough. You know, I feel like whenever we go on tour, it's like you have to kind of get your immune system back in check.
Yeah.
You know? So I usually don't get hit pretty hard with sickness on tour, but you know, I was kind of bragging about it to a Good Kids tour manager, and I was like, you know, like I haven't really gotten sick. And then the next morning, you know, I wake up and I'm like, there's the sore throat.
There it is.
There's the ache. There's the fever. There's the chills. And
It's like you cold, you're cold the goddess.
yeah,
Sickness.
they put me back in my place.
Yes.
So it was not fun. I did a few shows where I was, you know, really on Advil, Mucinex,
Yeah.
just mustering up all the strength I had before getting on stage and then playing for 35 minutes and immediately going to sleep.
Okay.
this tour was sponsored by Tamiflu.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So
No, not actually.
I like found out that I had the forbidden flu.
Yeah.
The
Forbidden
forbidden
flu.
flu. I didn't want to say the F word,
Okay.
but I said it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But
Oh, flu?
I told them all. So
Yeah, this is kind of like Jordan's flu game.
yeah, it was my flu game tour.
Okay. So James, like in the rider, do you guys got like throat coat, like that's enough for us?
Yeah,
How healthy is the rider for Phoneboy?
today I made sure to add like throat coat tea, make sure we have something like we always get honey on it per Ricky's request. He's like a huge honey chugger. He just loves chugging honey.
That's so crazy, girl.
Dirty. Well, forbidden flu, honey chugger. They'll just like on honey right before we go out.
Yeah, that's
So we got to keep our throats fresh and everything.
The plan is that I'm supposed to put the honey in the tea, but I forget to make the tea,
Yeah.
and then it's like 5 minutes till we go on stage, so I have to just,
Chugging it.
yeah, so I'm just,
There you go.
yeah.
it works. So it's efficient
It is, I streamline it.
to the source.
So Ricky and Wyn, I love your story because the fact that you guys went to Stevens Institute of Technology, right in New Jersey, big like engineering school,
Mhm.
lots of STEM students from all over the world, and you guys come out with one of the awesomest like rock bands out of it. But like instead of coming up with like a solution for like thermonuclear whatever but the important stuff. Do you ever think about that when like that? I think that's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting making music in that environment. For sure, all of our friends were engineers and computer science for the most part. It was definitely helpful. I would say is the word big fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
There wasn't a big music scene down there, so like, we were kind of one of the only bands that people could go and see and enjoy, and that's definitely very helpful for getting our name out there.
Yeah, of course. But you need James from the Bay Area, right?
Yeah, since we were 11, we're playing in bands together.
Yeah. There we go. What do you remember, James? Because I see your brain that just with floating memories of Little Wyn.
Of course, yeah. I mean, how can I forget Little Wyn? I close my eyes and it's all I see. They were playing in a band. He and a couple of friends from his middle school. Their bassist moved, and when I was like 11, I was taking music lessons at the same school as their drummer. Like just like a little store, a local like music shop where they would teach lessons. So we got linked up from there, and we became really close friends. We recorded a lot of our friends in like a basement that our that same drummer Felix, his mother had. So it was just like a really a nice surprise when Wyn moved out to New Jersey and started playing in a band. And it turned out I was going to be moving out to New York City the year after. And yeah, it just kind of worked out. Everything worked well.
We definitely sometimes have the thought of like, okay, we're outside of Ricky or Jordan's parents' house in New Jersey, me and James, like, if us when we were 12 years old, all of a sudden, like, flash forward, to that moment, we would be like, we would have no idea why we were there.
Why are we in New Jersey right now?
Like, what did we do wrong?
Yeah, I think so. Just shout out Jersey though.
Yeah, I'm a Jersey fan. Ricky, let me ask you, like, going back to Stevens, when Acid Go, like, just like exploded, like that moment, because I think that moment is so cool, because it was like you've now had a bunch of hits, but like that was like the first time that even if it was in the community, that song like became viral.
Yeah,
I
so
remember from that time.
it was crazy because I didn't sing or write any music before I met Wyn. I wrote like one like joke emo song in high school, and that was about it.
It's a good song.
Oh, the joke one?
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it'll come out.
Yeah, it'll come out something now.
In the Honey Chugger EP.
Yeah, Honey Chugger. Yeah. But so yeah, so we wrote it, Acid Girl, and then we released it, and I was super excited about it. And then I think it was like a New Year's party or something at my parents' house, and we were in the backyard, and I forget who approached who, but somebody pulled up like the chart for like how many streams you get in a day or whatever. It might have been me. It might have been
You
yeah. And I saw it go like just skyrocket one day. And I'm like, what happened? I literally one of us went to each other and was like, what happened? What caused this? And we're like, I don't know. And that was kind of surreal. And then I think from there we just sort of realized, okay, like we have a shot. We can do this.
Yeah.
and since then it's just been like very steady. Short, very steady growth, which I think is healthy.
Was it exciting when that happened?
Yeah, I mean, so off the riff, from the first day, we have like the awesomest friends of all of us. So they just set the song around. They would go to bed, play it on repeat, get us all those streams.
I love that.
So off the rip, we got more streams than maybe even we deserved. And that kind of went into getting us on what Ricky was talking about, the algorithm.
Yeah.
So we're definitely grateful for them. And we thought we were like famous. We had like 1,300 streams in the first day.
Yeah. And we're like, oh my God, no way. We hit 1,000.
Go.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Whenever like bands have asked us for advice with like getting started and stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest pieces of advice that we give is your friends are so important. Get all of your friends on it and get their friends on it. That's where it all starts. Like that organic local community.
Sure.
Yeah.
You guys are very likable, and yeah, so that helped.
Thank you.
Speaking of likable, Jordan, how did you end up with this group of misfits? You're so we're talking camera. You were so healthy. You're so well put together.
God.
And I know
Oh,
it's here.
you're stoking my ego.
How did you end up here in this chaotic group of?
It's a long story, but also like a short story. I'll give you the shortened version. But I actually went to Stevens. I'm the same age as James. But Ricky kind of came into my life, and through like a really weird series of coincidences, and then we ended up at Stevens together, and I met him. He was like the first person that I met at school, and he was like, hey, me and Wyn, we're starting this band. You play keys, you sing, like, do you want to play with us? And I was like, absolutely. Because I had been in bands in my entire middle school and high school life. Like growing up, I was always performing, doing things, and I was really sad to see that come to an end in high school.
Yeah.
And when I joined Stevens, I was never expecting to kind of fall into Phoneboy the way that I did. It's like the best way that I can describe it. It's like I kind of tripped and fell into Phoneboy.
Okay.
And it just kind of worked out. Oh, it worked out. I love them.
Yeah. Well, you're now you're sitting for a part of the band.
Yeah, and I took a bit of a different path to get here today. I graduated from Stevens like with my finance degree, and I worked in corporate America for a few years, and I just decided that was not for me. There were many tours where I was in the back of the van just working remote, crunching numbers, doing Excel spreadsheets, and it was just terrible. I mean, loved my company, but just the demand that it put on me was just so much.
Her home office setup was amazing in the back of the van,
Yeah.
though. It was
I
awesome.
had it. It was perfect. It was miserable, but it was perfect at least. But yeah. So
You would be in Zoom calls with like that virtual backgrounds of these guys.
yeah, they're like, why is your screen shaking so much as we're like driving over bumps on the highway?
Driving on the 80.
Yeah, I have to like scream from the back of the van, like, guys, I have a meeting right now. Like, be quiet.
Hysterical.
But yeah, no, I'm super happy to be, full time.
I love the way that from like the way that like all the variables have like worked for you guys. It's almost, in research it was like, man, like what are the odds? Like what in a trillion? It's like it's a beautiful thing.
It's like how Jordan describes that she tripped and fell into Phoneboy. You can describe a lot of the things that happened to us as us tripping and falling into it.
Hey, sometimes that's how it works. Wyn, let me ask you about your relationship with the fans and the way that you have this kinetic energy with the crowd. Like, you obviously have a very playful, you raffle stuff, you'll do contests with the audience. But I think it's really cool the way that you kind of utilize the energy as like as frontman. Like I think normally that takes a longer time to develop. Where do you how do you kind of come into your own like with that energy with the fans?
I feel like we're all still figuring it out every single night. But I think we as a band we have different approaches, especially Ricky and I. It was described once where kind of Ricky talks at the crowd, like hypes them up. And I'm more kind of like talking to the crowd.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think that makes sense with our personalities. In general, Ricky's definitely the one to go like, fuck yeah, sure, be all right. And I like joking around, kind of, and I don't know. It's hard to self-assess.
Yeah.
Because it's just my personality, and it's hard to kind of talk about my own personality.
Also, honest are usually more self-critical, but as an outsider, I can tell you that you guys have a really great like vibe going.
Thanks. Yeah. No, we have a good time. We have a good time for sure.
It's fun.
It's funny. So I was just talking to Ricky about that like last night for the night before. I was like, Wyn is so good at just like making the audience feel like they're a friend.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
You know what I hate though? When it goes silent for a sec.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that's just the worst. And sometimes they're just listening, but it's still just, it's so hard. As we've been doing it for a while now, but it can be a struggle. It's still everything like
silence.
Yeah, the silence. If you say something and it doesn't land, not thinking about it for the whole next song, for the whole rest of your set.
Sure.
And definitely being the opener is tough. You have to win the crowd over a little bit more.
Sure.
They get into it though.
They do for sure. And we have a good time.
I love it.
Yeah.
Jen, Ricky, let me tell you this, and thank you for your time, guys. You guys are finishing a tour, so I know you guys are tired, but the mental health aspect of like, I think that's important, and maybe Jordan, you can chip in as well. I think that, obviously like the health of eating well on the road and all that, but also like traversing the country and kind of like just being mentally like all there. Because maybe one of you all is having a bad day one day. Maybe you got sick one day. How do you guys kind of like just balance out? I think that's important.
I think that is also something that we are figuring out and taking, I guess the word is precautions.
Okay.
To mitigate all that. Because, it's tough.
Yeah.
There's no personal space. And, someone can have a bad day, but you still need to have like a good day on the stage.
Sure.
I think a big thing is that we've all like cut back a lot on drinking. This has been like the most sober tour we've ever been on, and that has helped immensely with, mood, health, everything.
Cancel the cake stand. Cancel the...
Yeah. We're canceling cake stand. Like the guy's wheeling a keg in right now, and he just backs up. Yeah.
So yeah, we on the first few tours that we did, we were definitely not taking care of ourselves in that regard, and kind of just getting, everybody who wasn't gonna drive that night would, have too much fun, and that would like have an impact on the next day, and that would kind of stack up and spiral. So we're trying to like be better about that, but also just, on such a tight schedule that we have on this tour, we're trying to like just get as much like free time as we can, like go out, get something that's good to eat instead of just going to like fast food or, everything like all adds up to how well you feel. So you need to just like, yeah, sure, you're making all the right decisions. That's
Yeah, let me leave you guys with this, with the album Heartbreak Designer. It's coming out, I believe, in April. And if my calculation's not mistaken. You guys are on a prolific run. And from the preview that I got, the private stream and everything, you guys are like just peaking, and the songwriting is better than ever, and it's fantastic. Like how do you feel when about it? Like, what's the plan?
Oh, the private stream.
I did a little. It is not listens.
Okay, so, do you listen? Not the whole thing, or did you listen to the whole thing?
I listen to more than the 2 that are publicly available.
Hey,
Tell you that.
wait. Okay, do you cut these up, or do you just put the whole entire thing on YouTube? Or
Yeah, we'll put it into.
but like, will you?
Yeah,
What I'm
we'll
saying.
make one in Eclipse. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, or like, or sorry.
Did you like it? I loved it.
Yeah, it's so good.
So, we're to read. I actually think you guys are on a prolific run. It's a phenomenal album.
No, thanks.
Thanks.
No, we wouldn't self-describe as prolific, of course, but it's definitely the best
I
work.
think you guys are in a prolific run because I guess our, third album.
Third album.
Third album.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
yeah.
I think the songwriting is. I mean, you have the sound is great, but the songwriting is. Tell me about that. When who's writing the songs?
So we all do songwriting now, and for this album, now Jordan's writing with us.
Yeah.
And it's going great.
Okay.
Generally how it works is Ricky or I bring either a verse or a chorus or just something to the group, and then we all kind of beat it up, add other parts, dismantle it, and then
So the melody will come first for you guys, and then you guys will.
generally melody would come first, sometimes chords, rarely lyrics.
But it does happen. It changes for every song. Like some songs, like all the lyrics would basically be written like in one day, and then other songs, like all 4 of us would be going word for word. Like what should be here, what should be there. Yeah, it changes every time.
Yeah,
Honestly.
a lot of the songs on Heartbreak Designer, I think half of the record was written over like a 6-week period.
Yeah.
Where basically every day we would wake up and be like, we need to have a song done by the end of the
In
week.
New York and in Brooklyn.
This was at their old apartment in North Bergen in New Jersey, and we just would wake up and go in Ricky's room every morning, just right from 11 a.m.
Amazing.
Until 10 p.m.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
And we would just, put the same like instrumental part on loop for hours and hours and just kind of sit there in silence, and someone would get something and we'd be like, okay, let's move on to be like that. It was
Super awesome.
It was pretty crazy that we did it that way.
It's weird because that would happen. Like there would be days where we just listen to the same part on loop and maybe we don't even get anything from it. And then there'd be some days where the flow is just so quick that we just write the whole song in one day, which was fun.
Well, as you said it all for today, I think it's been an honor to have you at this point in your career. You guys playing the Brooklyn Bowl today. Big important venue in Nashville. Yeah, Dylan played there 2 shows last year. It's a big room. It's a nice big room, and you guys are gonna crush it. So cool. Stop in by.
Yeah, and thanks for having us.
Thank you for tuning in. Click here to subscribe and get the latest from the show, including exclusive behind-the-scenes footage and once-in-a-lifetime performances. And as always, thank you for making Jrod Concerts Media part of your day.